To the Vedic period. So in this chapter we will study regarding the Vedic period, the Vedic age and the Vedas, and comparative study we will study about the early Vedic period and the later Vedic period. So this Vedic period was actually divided into two parts, that is early Vedic period and the later Vedic period. There is a difference between the early Vedic period and the later Vedic period. Here we will study regarding in this introduction there is only difference regarding their time period and the region of their settlement. Gradually as we proceed we will study their comparative study about their society, about their position of women, about their religion, economy and all. So in this introduction part there is only the difference between their time periods and their region of settlement. So early Vedic period, as I already told you, this Vedic period was divided into two parts, that is early Vedic period and later Vedic period. The time span of early Vedic period was 1500 to 1000 BC. So this is the period when the Aryans, they came and settled in India, not in entire India but only in the western part, that is the Sapta Sindhu region or the seven rivers region. That was the portion, or that was the region when these Aryans first came and settled in between 1500 to 1000 BC. That particular period is known as the early Vedic period. Gradually what happened, they followed the course of the rivers and settled along the valley of Yamuna and Ganga. Gradually in 1000 BC, from 1000 BC to 500 BC, they proceeded towards the interior of India. That is, they followed the courses of Yamuna and Ganga river and settled in their valley. So that particular period when they came and settled, they covered the entire Gangetic Valley region. That period is known as the later Vedic age, and its time period was from 1000 BC to 500 BC. And why we call this particular period as the Vedic period? Because the culture of the period is referred to as Vedic culture because it was based on the Vedic texts. Most of our information about Vedic period we get from these Vedic texts. That is why this particular period is known as the Vedic period. Now we will study regarding the sources of this Vedic period. First is the literary sources. So again these literary sources are divided into two chronological groups, that is the early Vedic texts and the later Vedic texts. The early Vedic texts comprises of the hymns of the Rig Veda, because in early Vedic period Rig Veda was composed, which was the first Veda to be composed or the oldest Veda to be composed. So the Rig Veda was composed in the early Vedic text, and so that particular period was known as the early Vedic texts. And its time period was 1500 to 1000 BC. Then the later Vedic texts, its time period was from 1000 to 500 BC, to which belong the remaining Vedas like the Samaveda, Yajur Veda and Atharva Veda. So here is the difference, that in early Vedic texts Rig Veda was composed, and in the later Vedic texts the rest of the Vedas like the Samaveda, Yajur Veda and Atharva Veda were composed, as well as their branches such as Brahmanas, Aranyakas and Upanishads. This we will study in detail in this chapter only. We have details about these Vedas and these branches of the Vedas. So here in literary texts, the literary text is divided into early Vedic texts and later Vedic texts on the basis of their composition. The social, economic and political religious aspects of the life of the people came to be reflected in the Vedic literature. So by studying these Vedic texts, we come to know about the society, economic, political life and the religious life of the people. That is why these Vedas became the storehouse of knowledge, because these Vedas are the books, or from these Vedas we get information, much information about the Vedic period, and hence this period is known as the Vedic period. The Vedic literature was written in Sanskrit. The term Veda has been derived from the Sanskrit word Ved, which means knowledge. So this term Veda is derived from this Sanskrit word Ved, which means knowledge. So that is why it is called the storehouse of knowledge. Vedic literature is divided into two parts, namely Shruti and Smriti. This Vedic literature, it is divided into two parts, Shruti and Smriti. The Shruti was revealed to the sages by God, and they passed on that knowledge orally from generation to generation. So it is believed that this Shruti was actually revealed to the sages. Sages are the priests, you can say, the people, those who the sannyasis who stayed in the forests in huts, and they taught to the children in gurukuls. Those people, they were the sages, and it is believed that this Shruti was revealed to the sages by God, and these Shrutis were then passed on to generation from generation by these sages orally. As I already told you, in Gurukuls they used to study, and their education was completely oral education. And Smriti literature was composed by the rishis. This Smriti literature, it was actually composed by the rishis. It was not given by the gods, but it was composed by the rishis. So this is the difference between Shruti and Smriti. Then the Vedic literature can be classified into the following categories. So these are the categories of Vedic literature. First is the four Vedas, that is Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda and Atharva Veda, and their Samhitas. Samhitas are their patches. Then the Brahmanas attached to each Samhita, the Aranyakas and the Upanishads. So about these categories we will study in details now. So first is the Vedas. So the first Veda that was composed is the Rig Veda, and that is why it is the oldest religious text in the world, because it was the first Veda to be composed, and therefore it is known as the first testament of mankind. It is the oldest religious text, and that is why it is called the first testament of mankind. It is divided into mandalas. The Vedas are further divided into mandalas. It is said to have been composed during the early Vedic period. Already we have studied here, in early Vedic period the Rig Veda was composed, and that is why it is said to have been composed during the early Vedic period. The hymns are dedicated by the sages to gods. So in this Rig Veda, the hymns that are composed, or the hymns that are written, they are actually the hymns that are dedicated to God by the sages. They were passed on orally from teachers to their disciples. These hymns, they were transferred from generation to generation orally. The teachers, or the sages you can say, or the rishis you can say, they used to pass these hymns, or they used to taught these hymns from generation to generation, and that also orally. The Rig Vedic hymns are the authentic sources, means the original sources of knowledge of the life of the people of the time. So Rig Vedic hymns, they give us complete information, or the genuine information about the life of the people of the Vedic period. Much of the Indian philosophy is based on the Rig Veda. Today also the Indian philosophy, or you can say the Hindu philosophy, is based on Rig Veda. It also contains the famous Gayatri mantra. Although religious in nature, the Vedas are a valuable source of information on various subjects. So these Vedas are actually religious in nature, still we get much information. It is a storehouse of information on various subjects. Then the Samaveda. The term Sama means sweet song or the melody. So the term, why it is called Samaveda, because Sama means sweet song or the melody. In this Veda, some of the hymns are borrowed from the Rig Veda. These hymns were meant to be sung at time of the sacrifice by the priests. So this is the importance, that when the hymns of the Samaveda are sung, when priests make some kind of sacrifice, the sacrificial ceremonies takes place during some kind of occasion or worship of God. Some animals are sacrificed. So during those sacrificial ceremonies, the hymns are sung by the priests. The hymns of the Samaveda are sung by these priests. Then comes the Yajurveda, and what it contains, it deals with hymns recited during the performance of yajnas. Here we can see one picture of a yajna is going on. So during these kind of yajnas, the hymns that are recited, those hymns are actually from the Yajurveda. Their hymns in this Veda throw light on the social and religious life of the Aryans. So the hymns of the Yajurveda gives us information on the social and religious life of the Aryans. Then the Atharva Veda, the last Veda, that is Atharva Veda. And what does Atharva Veda contain? Deals with magic and charms. Any kind of tantra mantra that we say, those are the magic and charms. So the hymns of magic and charms are in this Atharva Veda. Most of the hymns are taken from the Rig Veda. Besides the powers of spirits, the hymns deal with. So in this Atharva Veda, there is not only the power of of spirits, but the hymns also deal with Gyan, that is knowledge, Karma, that is action, and Upasana, that is invocation. Some hymns, so these are also the hymns that are contained in Atharva Veda. Some hymns also deal with medicine. So not only Atharva Veda contains hymns on the powers of spirits, knowledge, action, and invocation, but it also contains the hymns on that dealt with medicines for the treatment of various diseases. So from this we come to know that these Vedas are a very important part of our Indian philosophy.